Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Lions Den podcast. I'm back with another review and recap on Handmaid's Tale, season 6, episode 8. We are behind because the series uh ending already happened, but it's okay. We're still gonna recap because there's a lot that happened that I just feel like, yeah, we still could talk about and get into it. Um So, of course, you guys know, but before we get into it, we like to give our Lions Den house rules. This is a scripted television series, so I won't be bringing any information that's like can be alleged or whatever. But we just gonna talk our mess, talk our trash, give our opinions, feedback on what we thought of the episodes, y'all. In my opinion, this definitely is one of the best TV dramas we've had in recent television. And I will stand on that. And as we finish up recapping this series, you'll see why. Like, I will stand on it. This show is definitely one of the best to do it. It's a lot, it's intense, it's heavy, but it- it's that show. So, while we talk about it, get your favorite drink in your hand, whether it's juice or cocktail, your choice. Get it in your hand and let's get into it. Okay? So, honestly, episode 8 is where things finally start to pick up. I will say that this season by far um has dragged the most. Like other seasons have moved a lot quicker. We've gotten a lot more action. And it's not necessarily a negative thing, right? Because so much happened. Like this is a very intense show. So I do feel like it's not the worst thing in the world for us to slow down. Um, Especially given what happens in this episode, it makes last season feel more um necessary because we see the character growth in this moment. Particularly, I'm just double checking to make sure um you all can hear me. And this episode definitely made me be like, okay, I'm not too mad that we are taking it slow and it's not things aren't happening at such a fast pace because we're actually allowing people to change, people to grow, people to evolve. We're allowing that to happen and take place. And you see the impact of that happening. So I'm really excited or to get into that by the end. I'm going to check my audio for a quick second. Okay. So, okay. Just wanted to make sure, guys. So, yeah, so let's start from the beginning. This is pretty much called the Dread Wedding as we know. Ooh, for our TV fans, it's always going down at the wedding. If it's going if it's not reality TV, it goes down at dinner. In TV drama series, it goes down at weddings. And we got another bloody wedding. Not necessarily as bloody, but another staged rue at a wedding with this show, Handmaid's Tales. So we pick up back at the episode after we see that Serena and I don't forgot his name, but not Waterford. It's not Waterford. That's her last name. Serena, what is his name? Watford? Is it Watford? Anyway, we'll figure it out later on. This we'll figure it out later. But they're getting married. So she swears that like he's different and he's going to make changes to Gilead and to New Bethlehem and bring reform. She wants to create a fertility center and that's where she wants to move the handmaidens to be and do it the Lord's way. Okay, that is what she wants to do. She's expressed this to her new fiance, and he's like, yeah, of course. Yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to change it. You're amazing. You're just a strategist, and just really, he was really admired by her leadership and strength and strategy and everything like that. So, we pick up where they decide they want to get married and they want to do a big wedding because they want to essentially make for show, political show, right? Because he is, if not, I think he is the highest ranking um a person in Gilead, I'm pretty sure, I think, or he's one of the higher ranking uh commanders. Thank you. I couldn't remember the names. Commanders for sure in Gilead. So, if not, I'm pretty sure. So, they get ready for their wedding, and this is where at the end of the episode 7 where June comes up with the idea that, like, hey, we should use Serena's wedding and that's how we should do our next plan of attack. And so they asked, well, how are you going to do this attack? She says, we'll smuggle in, we'll come in the red, because it's ceremonial, like they have to have handmaidens there in any major commander wedding. So she'll sneak in, and that's where her and Moira will sneak in weapons to give to handmaidens. They're also going to work with Rita, who was at first not going to do the cake. She was not really involved. Of course, that conversation with her and Nick changed a lot of things about it. Woke Rita back up into realizing, like, you can't reform a broken system. You just can't. And this is a broken, toxic system. So you have to tear it down. So she inserts herself and says, okay, I'm going to make her cake, because she was a Martha. Serena wants her to. So she accepts the job. So they come up with a plan on how to unalive the major commanders that are going to show up at this wedding, or give weapons to handmaid, yeah, to get them. So we see a montage of that opening with the beautiful Elizabeth Moss and her giving a um monologue of what I felt like. And you can, and if you know in the comments, let me know. I felt like I had heard this before in previous seasons, but then that towards the end it changed, because now it's time for war. It's time to do something different. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't have a copy of what she said, but it was just really amazing to see, like, us finally get to this moment. And I feel like it paid off. I really do. Because sometimes moments are a letdown in TV, when you're waiting for this moment and it's like, it's not what it's giving. I can say with Handmaid's Tales, the moments we've been waiting for, like when it came to Serena's first husband, even them escaping, like, it's been fulfilling. Like, the writers do a very good job, and the directors, and one of them is Elizabeth Moss. They do an excellent job of, like, making those moments feel so justified and so good. Um, that it's not a letdown. So, um, and this was an example of that. This episode. So they're wearing the red, and it's very interesting because usually the garments represent, being suppressed and oppressed, and being submissive, and shame, like, even shame, even though they were the ones that could do what the other women couldn't do. But you see the shots now of June in these outfits, and you feel the power. You feel that in you feel that when they're wearing these costumes, that, like, now it's shifted. Now they feel empowered. They feel like they're worthy, and that they are taking their power back, when you start seeing them put on her back in this art garment that once represented something so dark. So, they're getting ready for the wedding. June and Moira have smuggled in the knives, and they're handing them. I love how they showed, like, the cinematography for this part. These just showing how, just I wish I had better words to say it, but how organized and together it was, just them passing, them walking, and even they've been taught order and structure, but how they use it to their advantage. Of course, you got to have one who can't, is going to almost ruin it for everybody. Because the way I would have slapped the fire out of her in that church, like, don't play with me. This is life or death. Do not drop your knife. Are you kidding me? That almost got me. Like, I would have been like, if you drop this knife, what they're gonna do to you is not gonna be anything compared to when I get my hands on you. Like, come on, this is war. I need you to clock in. Come on now. Oh, they had got me, but they got away with it. Um, they played it off very well, even though she was shaking like she was shaking your baby. She was shaking. Ooh, but they played she played it well. Nobody noticed. And then of course, Aunt Lydia was asked to go do business in DC because the lady is nosy. She don't miss a thing. They was not gonna be able to get far with this plan with Aunt Lydia because she was gonna clock their tea immediately. She's extremely sensitive and hypersensitive to what these women do. That's why she had to go on this trip. So we do learn like that there is a handmaid in there who who is a part of the resistance. And so she is the one that helps snuggling June and Myra from the last episode that we talked about. And so she's there, she's in charge, so she's kind of looking out, making sure things run smoothly and that she's not recognized. And so we moved to the wedding. We just wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything. We moved to the wedding. Here you have the handmaidens arrive and they're in their garments. I'm gonna pull it up so we can just show some, fun little visuals. Because you can just really see like how organized and meticulous it just really like ate the scene down, in my opinion, because it just gave like, oh baby, y'all, this is war clothes. Like, y'all are really soldiers. This is a woman, uh soldiers, honestly, in their garments now. So one of the things at the ceremony is they have to have their face covered because again they see handmaidens as this spiritual figure or group of women, and so they should be covered because they in their eyes are doing God's work because they're the ones that are able to produce children and have children. So they are seen like in order, and this is very similar you see when we talk about enslavement with Black history. It's similar in that in order for people to buy into brutality, you have to spiritualize it in a way that's justifiable, like morally justifiable. So one of the ways is having these customs and traditions that put, you know, these women on a pedestal, and you tell people you're doing this for a spiritual reason. And so you see it come out when it comes to the weddings that you have these handmaidens there because it's supposed to be a spiritual symbolism, right? And it's supposed to be honored, and that's a way, it's really a way of control because again, if I'm just doing it morally, it's hard for people to buy in. But if I add a spiritual component to this, well, then you are more likely to move and convince people to um buy into what you're selling. We've seen that historically and we're seeing it on this show. So here we have it where Serena's in her beautiful dress. I feel like it was a tint of green, not white, because it don't need to be white. It don't need to be white. But she had her veil. I mean, she was cute or whatever. I guess, child. We see this moment, they're at the wedding, and we finally get to the reception where things start to pop off because as you can see here in this photo, and I don't want to jump ahead too much. Excuse me. Lydia finds her way at the wedding. But before we get into that, we'll get into They go through the ceremony, they get married. You see these uncomfortable moments between June when she sees Nick and sees his wife, who was Rose, who was pregnant. Um, and you can still see the tension between them and her feelings of hurt and pain. But I just think Elizabeth Moss does a beautiful job really translating the complexity of her relationship with Nick, because it does leave for debate, right? Like, who does she really love? Who does she really want to be with? And you can honestly, it's a hard topic to have, but I think that's the point. And I think her portrayal of that is just so beautifully done. Like, the it's amazing. So yeah, ceremony goes great. They're able to pass the knives there, like I talked about earlier. We finally get to the reception, and the reception seems like a pretty regular reception. We finally see Rita come out with the cake. um, and so you knew based on the feeling, like, okay, what y'all did with this cake. And I didn't know where this was going, because it's like, okay, y'all have the knives. So what's in this cake? Like, is that a backup? If people don't like, did you poison it? And if they not gone, you gonna go ahead and slit their, throat. I was wondering what it was, but I said, let me watch, let me wait, let me be patient, let me see what's really the plan here. So, like, at the reception, the handmaidens are in the corner sitting. Of course, they have order. They're not allowed to speak, show their face. They are passed a piece of cake, but they hide it under their seat. So they know they can't eat the cake. So I said, okay, something in the cake. Oh my God. So we have the head, Martha, who's like, all right, let's go now. Let's go. Cause we serving cake, and y'all starting, we don't need to be here when y'all start dropping like flies and asking us questions why we can't, why aren't y'all eating that cake? But before they leave, Serena comes up to them because, again, she's a liberal woman, or liberal in the eyes of Gilead, wants to come and speak to them to really ease her guilt. Because if you say you want change, why are we doing these ceremonies where we're putting the women that we're brutalizing on display, and we're trying to spiritualize it when it's not? And she now has, on a certain some level, experienced that and knows it's not the same. But she did it because we saw where her husband really started to show, was he really different, or was he, you know the same, if not worse. And by being like, hey, I think we should have them, because it's a ceremony, and we do need to appease that. We can change it later. A good talking, seeing how far he can really push back and go with Serena. We saw that in episode 7. So she does it, allows them, but she feels like she should go and speak to them. And she talks to them, and she says, change is coming, guys, get ready, I'm gonna save you. And she tells them how, like, she wants to have a fertility clinic and really help with giving birth to women, helping them give birth. And that's, we really, there's going to be change. We're not going to go through the same brutality. She even mentions June's name, and you can really see where her relationship with June, like, June really wanted to call that, be wanted to be like, bull, you a BS. Like, she really did. She really was like looking at her sideways, like, okay, girl, who do you think you are, Jesus? Which I think Serena does. Because she brings her up, and she's like, yeah, like, I even have my situation with my handmaiden, and I could have been nicer. Well, she could have been nicer to me too. But we're still good friends. I really can't tell you who's more delusional, Serena or Lydia. And it might be Lydia, but they really be delusional queens, because it's like, you realize you were a part of her brutality. There will never be a friendship between you guys. So why did you think that? It's giving delusional. It was giving weird. It's giving, like, not aware. And so Yeah, so June is literally fighting herself to not really speak up and say something because she's like, what is wrong with you? Like, really? And yeah, like that's Serena for you. That's Serena for you for sure. Um, so while she's doing that, Serena says, yeah, so I want you guys to, I don't want you to be a part of this system. And so I really think you guys should take off your mask and enjoy some cake with me because things are different. And I guess that was her, I have an announcement, Glinda type of like reform solidarity move by making them take off their face mask. And so they're like, oh my God, wait a minute. No, because then you're going to see June, you're going to see Moira, and you're going to know something's up. And Serena is about attention. She's about power. And she's not going to support you in this moment where it makes her look bad. She's going to not be trustworthy. She's going to air you out, especially on a day like that's supposed to be her day. So they interrupt, thank God, come in with the cake. Rita comes in, she's like, oh no, we need to do cake now. It works. They step away. And this is where we get the start of the cake. Cake comes out, everybody just munching. Just, ooh, this so good cake. Oh my God, girl, Rita, you eat this, girl. Just eating it, tearing it up. Some people had two pieces, child. And I was like, oh Lord. Only person who didn't eat it, of course, was Lawrence because Lawrence realized like he's in on it, right? And I think what we see is um I was trying to see, did Nick's wife, I don't think Nick or his wife had a lot of cake. Well, no, the wife had a lot of cake, but I don't think Nick had a lot of cake either. I don't know. So everybody's munching, munch, eating a piece of cake because it looked good. I ain't gonna hold you, but the handmaid is slid under their seat, like I said, and they're all getting ready to leave and move out. As they're trying to leave, June decides to, or is trying to leave as well. When they're trying to leave, guess who pops up, like I mentioned before? My God. My God. It's like she has a sixth sense. Like for real. Like sixth sense. Like an antenna that's just I mean, she come out the blue. Hey, I finished early because I just knew I needed to come back and make sure my girls were okay. Aunt Lydia, even in her absence, it be clocking that something is different, something is off. So to me, I'm like, Lydia gotta go because this don't make no sense. Like, y'all not gonna be able to do nut jack squat with Lydia here. She gotta go. That's how immediately how I felt. Like, nah, baby, y'all got to come up with something because no, this is not gonna work. When is her time coming? To be honest, it's been long overdue. But Lawrence tries to jump in and distract her, and he's like, "Oh my God, you're like, what are you doing here? Like, you're supposed to be working." She's like, no, I know. I finished what I needed to do and I hurried back because I need to make sure my girls were okay. This is such a big event and I can't miss it. As she's talking, she sees June turns another way and is like, is that June Osborne? Oh my God, June. And so, she's following. June is able to walk away. And she tells Lawrence, and Lawrence is like, what are you talking about? June is not here. She's in Alaska. He wasn't lying. Do you think Aunt Lydia like let that go? No. That set her radar on immediately. Cause it wasn't like oh, okay, that's right. I don't know why June would be here. No. She's like a hound dog. She was like, I know what I saw, and I'm gonna find June. What's going on? So she start asking questions. They start saying, hey, why don't you rest? Get some cake. No, I don't want cake. I know what I saw. Like she literally does not stop. And there was nothing I think that could have been said to not let her believe like what she didn't see. Like the lady, I'm telling you, is like a guard dog. She don't miss nothing. Absolutely nothing. So she's looking, and you do get a moment where you think that Martha is like contemplating, oh my God, I'm gonna have to kill this lady, because she grabs a weapon, ready to go. Lydia storms in the room, looks for the girls. Like, she's like, what's going on? They're acting weird, which to be honest, he was like, well, what are they doing differently? But she just has a feeling and she goes for it. She what's one lady that trusts her instincts, which is interesting. But crazy is people are very intuitive. They clock T and are very observant, and they know when something is different. So she runs in the room. She looks like, goes in the handmaiden's room. She snatches the table. She's like, "What's going on? Something is different. What is happening? Why are y'all stealing our garments?" What, like, calls them all in the room, calls the guard, and she's like, "Y'all need to tell me what's going on right now, because something is happening differently. Like, y'all planning something, y'all up to something." And I quite don't really remember. You guys let me know. Like, it was, I don't know what really, really set it off for her to know that like something was off, but she just knew. Like, she just, nobody could not lie to that lady. So while this is happening at the same time, we go back to Watford, and Serena. We go back to their home. They're now married. She's a Bell. Commander, no, Warden. I was correct, Warden. And she's a married woman now. And she's got her powerful man there, ready to take on the world and create a new Gilead. They arrive at the home, and Lord and behold, what does she see when she steps into her newfound house? A god darn handmaiden. Was any of us? I don't understand how she was so surprised. I don't get it, because he literally slaughtered all the women in Jezebel. How did you think this man really want to reform? Please let me know. Like, how did you come to that conclusion? He slaughtered a whole bunch of innocent women. Did you really think this man was just gonna let go of this level of power and authority and grow a magical heart? What? So she's just, what is this? What is she doing here? We said no handmaidens. And he's like, well, it's ceremonial. And this is what you do on your wedding night so that we can have a family. And she's like, but I can give birth myself. I've given birth. He's like, well, yeah, I just thought that this would be an easier option for you, but we can try. I'm open to trying. How did you think it would be an easier option for her when she's anti handmaids? That man, and I'm gonna use lamest terms, was gaslighting the heck out of Serena. Which honestly, she was hearing what she wanted to hear, to be quite honest with you. But I mean, came out quick, like, well, no, I lied. I really don't care. I just wanted you to be my wife. And I just wanted you, really, to have you close, because I know you have a voice and I want to control it and monitor it and assert my authority so bad that I use your voice to get everyone else in line, which is what literally happened with her first husband. So you just did the same thing, because She is attracted to power. She is attracted to having fame and attention, and she thinks that she is a boy. She thinks she's one of the boys. And not really understanding, baby, if all the other women ain't free, you're not free. Because the moment they don't need you, what do? So it was just like, I don't understand how you were so shocked. How, like, you got two warnings. You got one from who you consider the slut, or your good friend June, who told you, don't you seem like this is a repeating history, and then got a warning from the Lulu Queen herself, Lydia. That should have made you pause, like I said last time. And instead, you still went through with it. So I didn't feel bad at all. I didn't even flinch. I was like, well, yeah. So Serena's just distraught. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Oh my God. Like, how do I? No, we're not. I don't believe in this. I told you I don't like it. So she actually doubles down. She actually pushes back at him, stands her ground, and says no. But it also got really eerie and scary. And that was like, he really made me scared. And it made me see that this man is actually very different from her husband. Worse. He's worse than her husband. And the feeling and the performance that he gave really showed you that her first husband, yes, he was guilty. He had this system of Gilead, and it benefited him, and he was a part of it, and in a way he did believe in it. But Wardford is Gilead. Like, he believes in it, like legitimately believes in it. Her husband, because he had a genuine love for Serena, I do feel like he had love for Serena. It which she had his ear. She had his ear. She had his influence because he had genuine love for her. Excuse me, but he benefited from the system. So that power and greed matter more to him. Like, he allowed that to take more priority in their relationship. But she knew what to do, what to say in order for him to listen to her and to change his behavior. The difference between the two is Warden Waterford, Commander Waterford. Warden legitimately believes that this is like in the system of Gilead. Not just when it comes to being powerful or the fame, but he even believes the spiritual, like, story that they made up. He is like, he fully believes in it. And I don't know why that girl really thought that he was any different. Like, he is a high commander for a reason, Miss Girl. So I feel like in this moment you really felt like, oh, you met like, you thought you could reform a devil. You got like the Satan himself. And you felt that in this season, in this scene for sure. So, which, interesting enough, he does let her leave. Um, and I think this because Serena does have political attention, and you do have, I mean, you just had a public wedding. She can't be like, you have people looking at you. So I think he lets her go for now because it's too much attention. You just got married. And I do think he was like going to like come up with plans to break her, like she was with the couple. So she leaves, she gets her baby, she leaves, she's running. As she's running, this is where you see their plans start going into motion. You start hearing screams, you see handmaidens walk into houses, um, and they're slaughtering these commanders that come home after the wedding. Slaughtering them left and right. And I could not remember, are they're not in New Bethlehem, are they? They are I cannot remember the location. So if you remember the location, drop it in the chat. But I mean, going at it. So she's running, she's seeing this, and she's trying to hide because she does realize, like, hey, if they see me, they're gonna come get me too. Which, yeah, yeah, they are. So she's trying to make a way of escape, and I think she ends up going to Commander Lawrence's home and runs there and hides. And he's up. I think the wife. I thought he told her to eat that cake, but she eat cake anime. But I don't know. She ends up going to his house to stay over, and because that's all she knew where to go. So at the same time of this happening, we do get the scene where June, before she when she went the other direction and away from Aunt Lydia, she does fulfill her promise to Janine and get Janine out of the house, because as you know, Janine was transferred to the commander, who was like had this weird obsession with her at a Jezebel. She ends up like at his house and is prisoned and stuck in this house. So she said she was going to get the girl. She went to go get her. Thank God, because my girl needs some relief. Jesus, please, Lord, she needed some relief. So she goes and gets her. She walks up on that man, and my God, slashes his throat. Oh my God. I mean, she got it for the whole old and new, everything. Whew. So Janine comes out. She's like, "Thank you." They take her. They leave. They're ready to go. And so we fast forward back to where Lydia is trying to put the piece together, because she fully understands and recognizes that there is something going on. So she calls all of the handmaidens into the room. They're scared. Some of these girls, they must be new to this child. And she has a guard there, threatening them and saying, "What is going on? You better tell me now, or I'm gonna have him hurt her, arrest, whatever." So finally, this makes Moira stand out and say, "Hey, don't hurt them, leave them alone." Um, and Lydia goes, "Who are you? I don't remember you at all." Um, and I want to make sure. Yeah, I want to make sure I covered everything. Commander Bell was his name, and yeah, she baby, she yeah, she got him for that. Um, okay, so that's what it was. Lydia does decide to get like a little piece of cake, but then she's notices something strange about how the handmaidens were sitting. She looks under the seat. She sees that the cake is not eating. So then she immediately knows that, like, oh my God, something else is going on, because she literally doesn't miss anything. And so she just knew, like, y'all not finna play with me. Something else is going on. And and yes, that's what it was. When she pulled them off the cover, she realized they were all fully dressed, and she's like, "Why are y'all fully dressed? What's going on?" And so she pulls them in the room, gives them the whole, "I'm gonna punish the wicked, get you on the wall. You need to tell me what it is now. Or you're gonna be punished by death," and has the guardian pointing a gun at them to pull the trigger. That's what makes Moira yell at Lydia and say, "Get away from her." Um, at first, Lydia acts like she doesn't remember Moira, because we have to remember Moira did not stay long at all as a handmaiden. But for Lydia to be a person who knows her girls, why you don't remember her? So Lydia says, "Well, what's your name?" And so Lydia says, Why do you care when you stole it from me?" And yeah, so her identity was one of the people that moved and facilitated a lot of the rape on this show. But is fully convinced herself that she's doing this for the greater good. And so, she demands to know where is June. So the guardian is there, excuse me, threatening them until June walks in and says, "I'm right here." June walks in. Lydia is very shocked. She's troubled. She's like, "Oh my god, this girl's back," because she's put her through the ringer. And so, um, June gives Lydia credit, and I thought this was a very beautiful scene. Like, I think this alone, this scene, this is one of the scenes that of where Handmaid Tales deserves another Emmy, because my God, June, I think as we see over time, her gift is to be able to show empathy or sympathy towards people in a way, and compassion towards people that moves them. And this was a moment where we saw that take place and happen. So Lydia gives her credit because she's like, "We've been planning this, your girls," and um, you know, really goes and questions Lydia's morality in this moment, but the way that she was able to do it, that was effective, I think, was why I said earlier in the beginning of the stream that we did, like, it made me say, okay, we did need last season, because last season dealt with a lot of Aunt Lydia and where she was in her stance. And I think if we didn't see what Aunt Lydia went through and where Aunt Lydia's fantasy or delusions started to crumble and be questioned, if we didn't see that journey take place, then this scene wouldn't have made sense, because this speech wouldn't have worked on Lydia season 7. She had to get to that point after, her, after seeing that um Janine, what happens to Janine on multiple occasions, seeing the violence that they put their women against and through, even seeing where, with the possibility of changing what Gilead was to reform, right, impacts Lydia's perspective and viewpoint. Because in Lydia's mind, she really thinks that she's their godmother. Like, she thinks that she's doing God's will, and that even in a twisted way, she really does want to protect the girls, and doesn't see herself as a madam, because it's what she is. But she's not, like, it doesn't connect for her. So I really love how June brings home reality, but then also marries it with Aunt Lydia's delusions, because she essentially says, like, "Lydia, you know that this is wrong, and we're not going to sit here and play and act like you don't. But you also know that because you say you care for these girls, and because you say they matter, you know what's going on in Gilead is not acceptable. And you've seen too many times people go against the thing that you believe in Gilead." And she has. And we had to see that from last season in order for that character arc to make sense, like growth to make sense in this moment. So she does use Bible language in the Bible, because again, she's speaking Lydia's language, and that's why I said June. That's one of June's superpowers, is she knows how to um talk, use her words, use her compassion, her sympathy, in a way. She has a way with words that um pulls people in and can be very convincing, and works to her advantage. Almost reminds me, sidebar, of Cerise from Survivor, like the ability to be able to connect to people in a way that moves them to do what you want them to do. Like, that's a level of persuasion that not everyone has. So I really feel like, yeah, like, she really makes her point here. She says, Is there a God that would empower a woman like you to stand up for us, to arc towards the light, and to finally declare enough?" And yeah, like, again, Aunt Lydia has seen where people have been completely hypocritical on how they have treated her girls, and have seen where they manipulate her love and her love, right, and her closeness with the girls to do whatever they want to do to these women. I mean, and I think the nail in the coffin was thinking that Janine was dead, and also seeing how they just slaughtered these women. And you say that they are supposed to be this holy figure, this beacon of hope because they can give birth, and to have people go against that in the name of power and greed, it has pricked at Lydia. And so that moves her, and also along with her relationship with Janine, because she's seen every moment Janine has been following her in those moments of like um of seeing when they're being hypocritical. Like Janine has been a part of that, those moments of where she is challenged in her thinking. She's been attached to that. So when Janine ends it with, he hurt me, Lydia. They hurt us, they raped us, and you were responsible, you gave us to them. So with her saying that, that is almost like it snapped Aunt Lydia into reality that like, I'm not, I'm a part of this and I'm the part of the problem. And I really thought even you, Janine, like Janine was dead for what? Like it wasn't for a spiritual reason. It wasn't for, you necessarily did something wrong, because Janine couldn't catch a break worth nothing. She couldn't catch a break worth anything. And she saw that firsthand. So, and she has this, a like I said, like really closer connection with Janine, and I think than any of the other girls. So this hit her a lot harder. And we actually see something that I did not think we would see, because I really thought like Lydia would have had to go for real, for real. But she decides to let them leave. And she turns her other way, and she tells them to go. Like she asked them, please, you gotta let us go. And she lets them leave. And you just see Lydia literally, I feel like it felt like a moment of like her delusions breaking. Like it's something in her mind. Like that's the performance that she gave, was as if her mind and her brain and how she had disassociated, how she had justified everything going on, literally just broke in that moment. She falls to the floor and just goes, oh God, help me, and is trembling. And I'm telling y'all, like, ah, my God, it was amazing to see, and I didn't think I would see it. It really surprised me. I did not think I would see that coming from Lydia. I really didn't. So to just see that reaction, and to physically see where um that internal struggle has hit the nail in that moment, was like absolutely just a beautiful moment. And that is definitely an Emmy moment for sure. Like, Lydia, you ate that before, you ate that up. Like, but also I have to mention that, like, sidebar, like, so because Lydia does get in front of the gun. The guard is just standing there. He doesn't shoot. Like, he just runs off. I felt like that was my only kind of like, okay. Because one, why excuse me, why does he just stand there? Which, to be fair, I think most people had eaten cake, so they were asleep. But he's just like standing there, and then like runs off, doesn't do anything violent. He's genuinely confused, and he goes to, I guess, go snitch. But also, why y'all let that man run away? I'm sorry. This is war. This is war. Y'all shouldn't let that man go like that, but I guess it is what it is. But I just think it's war. It should no. That don't make sense to me. Nobody should have escaped because y'all should have been able to leave Gilead without them having a clue that y'all was leaving. And he absolutely went and ran and told the other commanders who woke up later. Like, come on. I just felt like that was a little like, okay, yet another way of showing how like these are not trained military. These are not trained professionals. They don't know really anything about war and how hard it would be to come against Gilead because something like that. Like, nah, buddy, y'all should have got no, 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 no. That was actually wild. So, yeah, they leave. They're running all in red. So you get this beautiful moment of them in red, just running for freedom. We saw something similar to that in back in I think was it season 3 or 2, the first time with the plane. And so, yeah, it's become a uniform of an army, like we talked about in the beginning. Um, so yeah, we're gonna see what happens next. Do they escape, or is it like, oh, just kidding? You thought too easy, but I would think that because you had such a beautiful moment and breakthrough with Aunt Lydia, like you gotta give some level of relief here. Like I hope for real, because that would be really disappointing. But yeah, that was the episode 8. I feel like we finally got to a moment where like, okay, we're getting somewhere because it was a long time coming for sure, for sure. And I love how we did get some justice. We did. And it was done in a way that was like, yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Especially for my girl Janine, because Lord knows that girl been through it too much. Like, God bless her. But yeah, overall, I think it was I would maybe rate this episode 8 for sure. Yeah, I give it an 8. I give this episode an 8 out of 10. And I'm really look forward to recapping what's gonna happen next because goosebumps, y'all. Goosebumps. So that's all I have to talk about with the recap. We'll be back with recapping episode 9. It'll either be the end of the week or next. It'll be the end of the week. It'll be the end of the week. I promise. Gotta wrap this up. And so we'll go through the remaining episodes, and then we'll also talk about just the character arcs of a few of the main characters, because I think it's important to like really walk through their journey, because it's been a long 6 seasons. It's definitely been more years. It might have been like 10 or 8 years of this show, so there's a lot of character growth and development that I feel like we should get into. But we'll definitely come back online and talk about it some more. Y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feeling about this season so far. Did you like episode 8? Like now that it's picking up, do you think that that scene with Lydia was corny? Like, I don't know. Like, did you feel a different opinion than that? We'd love to know and hear your thoughts. Also, check out the podcast over on TikTok, where we'll be doing the TV show watch list, and on my personal page at Lauren.Ashley, where we do more TV show recaps um that we're not able to do on YouTube. You can go over there, check that out as well. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and look out for more, because yeah, we also gotta come back and talk about Secret Lives of Moral Wives. We're almost finished with the season. We got 2 more episodes to recap, and we're gonna do that this week as well, so you don't want to miss it, because we get into some things about that show. But that is all for tonight. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.